Hi, for the second mapping video, I am going to show you how to make a heat map. And in this example, we're going to make a heat map of donations to Dennis Kucinich, to his 2009 congressional campaign. So here it is. A list of individuals. There's the name, their address, city, state, and somewhere in here, there's the amount that they gave to, oh, here it is, and the amount of money they gave to Dennis Kucinich in a particular year. Yeah, so this is a very small sheet of campaign donations. And as I mentioned earlier, Google Fusion Tables prefers that dates, that city and state be in a single column so that it can geocode them. So I'm going to create the city-state column. And this is just like we did on the other worksheet using the concatenate. Looks all right. So yeah, like I said, Google prefers dates in one column, so we're combining those. All right, now I'm just going to save this under a different name. Wow, that's good enough. And downloads, all right. And then we will add it to Google Fusion. So here is my import new table from Google Fusion. I just went to File, New Table, and I'm uploading the data. And I get column names are in row 1. That's a yes. That is all fine. And here comes our data. Now, a heat map is much like a pin map, but rather than locating individual points on the map, what it does is it puts in blobs of color that represent the density of points in that area. So this makes sense when you have a lot of things that you're trying to map, and you wouldn't be all the individual pins wouldn't be visible because they'd be all on top of each other. And so instead it gives you a blob of color, a circle of color in that area. And this will be pretty clear as we do it. Now, you know what? Google made a map for me, right? It automatically did it. Let's see what it looks like. Well, you know what? I'm going to cancel this. And it was kind of a trick question because it's going to look like garbage. If you do not tell Google which column to use, it's likely to use the wrong one and will not recognize that we're talking about. It'll get some of the states wrong. So what we're going to do, we will start by adding it. Well, you know what? The first thing we have to do is, city here is in yellow because Google automatically recognized that as a location, which it sort of is, but not a really good one because the state's not there. What we're going to tell it to do now, what we're going to tell it is that city-state is also a location. So hit the pull-down menu there on the table, change, and the type. So this is how you change the format in Fusion Tables. Instead of text, we're going to tell them its location. And we already told it that it was the city-state column. And let's give it a try. Save. We're going to see, all right. There we go. And now let's create the map. Add a map. Pick the select location. We want city-state, buddy. All right, now you see it's geocoding, and we see this nice 0% ambiguous. That's a good thing. Now, when the heat map comes up, well, we'll see it in a minute. We'll have these little blobs of color that show the density of the locations. Now, there's something else we can do with heat maps, which is a little more sophisticated, which is to have it weight the blobs not only according to the number of points in that area, but also according to like the size of the points. So in this case, we could have it just do a heat map of where donors came from and just do the locations of individuals who donated. But people give all sorts of different amounts of money. So it might also make sense to think of it in terms of the source of funding, where the money was flowing from. And well, all right, and to do that you weight the heat map, and it takes into account another value when it colors it in. But let's just do this step by step. So right now it's a feature map, the pin map. We are going to change it into a heat map. Look, and there it went. And where there used to be pins, now we have these little blobs, and we can sort of monkey with it here a little bit. And so rather than several points showing us that there are a lot of donations on the eastern seaboard or from California, now we have this red and yellow areas which get the message across. And the point map isn't too bad here, although there's still many are, they're not all visible, and I think the reason is they're probably sitting right on top of each other, a lot of them. I mean, how many people are there from California, right? You only see two little blobs. But then when we change it to the heat map, it starts becoming clear that there's actually a lot represented here. And now here's the weighting option. Now right now it is not weighted, so each point is equal. We can have them weight by the amount of the donation there. Smooth it out a little bit, and it's hard to see the difference here, but when you weight it by the amount of the donation, now it's sort of multiplying the number of people by the amount of money they gave when figuring out how to color it. So, this is more of a map of where money flowed from. And without the weighting, it's more of a map of where the individuals who gave money lived. And this is all individuals. I took political action committees out of this map because political action committees are all located in Washington, D.C. and New York mostly. And so weighing them in as a location with individuals, that doesn't seem like the best way to represent the data. Anyway, there is your heat map, video number 2. And I'll be back momentarily with an intensity map.